It is NC State wrestling head coach Pat Popolizio, and kicking off another season right now. Pat, I just want to ask you, what's the energy like right now ahead of the first duel? Because I've got to imagine the expectations are pretty high given the success that you had last season.
Yeah, it's been good. You get to this time of the year, guys are itching to start competing, and we do. We got a really good group of guys that have been really motivated and excited to showcase their skill set for the season.
I love it. Well, they're getting a great way to showcase it right off the bat, right? What a way to start the season. It's Wednesday, November 1st. The team heads to Fort Liberty, and you're wrestling on UFC Fight Pass, right? We're kicking off the CFFC Match Day season. Let me ask you, I know it's the first start of the year, that sort of thing, but is there a little bit of a different energy here? I mean, you're heading to a military base. You're on UFC Fight Pass. Does that add anything for everybody?
Yeah, I think it's great that we're able to kind of cross over to, some people that obviously follow MMA and obviously wrestling is a huge part of some of the MMA successes in recent years. So I think you're going to see a lot of good things and probably some future guys that might want to get into MMA. And, the luxury with us is we got 3 guys right now that are in the ROTC. So they're very, very, very familiar with Fort Liberty.
That is awesome here. I was going to ask you if it makes it more challenging for you as a coach maybe to be in this unique situation, right? Especially the environment itself, right? Now, I mean, you're a big time program. I imagine most of your guys are used to cameras, so that's not really going to show them off. But not many times are you wrestling inside of a military hangar, right? I mean, does that make things a little more challenging for you or for the athletes themselves?
No, Matt's a Matt. It'll be a cool atmosphere. We've seen pictures from last year event. It looked first class, so guys are definitely excited to be down there in that atmosphere.
That's very cool. Yeah, it was a memorable event last year. Now you're facing Presbyterian College in this duel. Kind of an upstart program, right? But they've got a legend at the helm of the program that they're building.
Yep.
What do you expect from them, knowing that like on paper maybe they don't necessarily match you man for man, but they've got a big, strong force behind them and they're building. So what are you expecting out of Presbyterian?
I very familiar with Coach Cody. He was my college coach when I was at Oklahoma State. So he's been a great mentor for me. And I know he's going to do wonderful things with that program, starting really from ground zero, and he's building it up really fast. And I think this is a good thing for him too to showcase his team and go out there and compete. Obviously, we do have a good history and tradition, so I think it's going to help elevate his program as well as get our guys ready. And he's going to have 10 guys that are out there battling and. He probably has some under the radar guys right now that no one knows about. So we just don't want to fall victim of any of those upsets.
Yeah, great point. What's it like for you? I mean, a former mentor, right? Like on the one hand, I know there's a lot of respect there, right? And you want to give them the respect that's due. But on the other hand, this is your time, right? You got to take something from them. What's that like for you? We're
all used to competing. So for two hours that day, we cannot be friends and put our best guys out there and let them battle it out. But no, it is he's had a tremendous impact in my college career, and then more than anything, gave me a good coaching opportunity. I was his assistant coach when he was at American. So he's a lot of the way that we operate with our culture and things that we do here, a lot of his philosophies implemented at NC State, and he's well aware of that.
That's awesome, man. All right, let's talk about your squad. You got 3 All-Americans returning, but I mean, really, when you look at it, it's top talent in every weight class. So, are those 3 guys who you expect to kind of be the pillars of this team, or are there some other talent that we need to keep an eye on that maybe kind of emerge as the leaders this year?
Yeah, I think you're always going to have those guys that have accomplished great things for us, but we do have some guys that are ready to break out and have a phenomenal year. One of them. Coming off of kind of a medical red shirt, Jacob Camacho. I think, he's got a lot of good wins, quality wins under his belt. Got to wrestle 2 NCAA tournaments and then had to take a year off last year and had a really good off season and is looking forward to, going out and competing right from the rip to win a national title this year. So I like where he's at. Jackson Arrington's another guy, was around to 12 last year that has made a huge, huge jump in our room. And I think he's going to be a force to reckon with this season. His expectations are extremely high. So you add, those 3 guys and put those 2 in the mix. We also have a couple other ranked guys that are pretty high. So it should be a fun year with this team that we have, and ultimately, getting those guys ready for the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, I think you guys are primed for a great season, so I'm glad we get to see it early. Let me ask you, a duel like this, are you looking at this as a chance to maybe get some looks? I don't want you to have to tip your hand too much, but are you trying to get some looks at guys up and down the roster, or is this more like, hey, let's get those guys that we do expect to factor in the postseason. Let's get these guys established and ready and on the right track?
I think you're going to see a little mix and match. We do wrestle Friday night against App State, which I might be on your network as well. I know last year it was. So, we're going to put out 10 guys, probably 50% of our A team and 50% of some younger guys, and get some North Carolina flavor in our lineup and try to get as many North Carolina guys as we can in our lineup and let those guys feel like they're at home and compete. This is a good opportunity for some younger, inexperienced guys to go out in the limelight and showcase their skills. But yeah, we'll piece together a really good lineup for Wednesday, and then obviously we got to be ready for a good scrappy duel against App State on Friday.
Yep, it gets going pretty quick. Let me ask you, beyond this duel, I think a lot of people are looking at CFFC Match Day, the whole series. We've got 9 dates this year as an opportunity to really kind of, help shine a light on college wrestling. So what are your hopes personally? I think there's going to be some added exposure here. As you said, some people that are MMA fans maybe watching. What's your hope for this series?
Yeah, the ultimate one is to make dual meets mainstream so we can get them on any network that is willing to showcase. I think you're starting to see a lot of growth with college wrestling and dual meets. Our fan base here alone has grown tremendously over the years because of dual meets. And so the more exposure that we can get at the national level, I think the better it's going to be for the sport, for the athletes. And it's just there's going to be some great duels that are already lined up for this season. And as the season progresses, the intensity will as well. So it's going to be a fun dual meet season.
I love it, man. I hope this is the start of something big. I guess for maybe people that maybe haven't tuned into college wrestling before, maybe like Fight Pass subscribers that have it already and don't know anything about college wrestling, what would you tell them is the reason, hey, this is why you need to watch? This is why this is such a phenomenal sport.
Well, the one luxury we have here is anyone that comes to a dual meet and it's the first time ever seeing college wrestling, they're hooked. There's a lot of drama that goes along with it. You see two well-trained athletes leaving everything they have on the mat. I think it requires every skill set that you need to be great in sports. You're talking all aspects, and there really is. There's not any timeouts. So and as we get in more intense duels, the storyline becomes even better. So it's one of those where a lot of people might not be familiar with college wrestling, but as you tune in, and then obviously with the networks and the commentating on there, it's easy for commentators to explain really what's going on, and it won't take long for a casual fan to really understand the scoring and then what is happening in the matches as they're going on. So it's a positive, especially now that we can stream it and you get someone that can explain the action play by play.
I love it. Fantastic. Well said. I think it's a great sport, and I do hope people will give it a shot. Like I said, the CFFC Match Day opportunity is unique for everybody. So let's just ask, outside of Match Day, the entire season, as you said, you've got a strong squad. You had a great finish last year. I imagine you're looking even greater this year. So what are the expectations for you for the team this year?
Yeah, I think we want to build on what we accomplished last year. We had a really successful dual season. We've got some really good individual dual meets on the schedule this year. I think we're able to wrestle non-conference starting early. We'll have Purdue, Big Ten team with a lot of good guys. And then as we get into the season, Ohio State's on the schedule, Oklahoma State. And then as we progress into ACCs, there's going to be some dog fights when it comes Friday night. So those are always exciting. And then we'll close it out with a really good duel at home with Cornell. So we've definitely upped our schedule this year. Our fan base is going to be able to see our guys in a lot of really tough duels that'll probably come down to the wire. And that's to prepare us for the NCAA tournament. As we look this year and on paper, our goal is to place as many guys as high as we can at the national tournament. And I think, with last year was a kind of a younger team. We brought everyone back, plus adding Camacho. It should make for a fruitful end of the year for these guys. We just got to continue to do the right thing and get better week to week.
I love it. Well said. Well, you are certainly building a powerhouse there at NC State. So I appreciate you taking the time, and look forward to seeing you on November 1st at Fort Liberty.
Yeah, we're excited. Can't wait, and appreciate the opportunity.